Over the years, Charlie has created relationships with our officers because he appreciates the rank and file. As a former volunteer firefighter, he understands what it is to care about his neighbors. We are here to serve and protect. He understands that a strong, successful community begins with cooperation and willingness to work together. We know Charlie will bring the attention to and solve the issues that affect our officers while he works full-time to address the needs and the residents of the 2nd District.
The thing I like about Charlie the most is his energy and his ability to listen. And I've been doing this elected office thing for 13 years. And I know the value of having someone who can listen and who can bring parties together to come find a common ground and a solution to problems. Tim Kaine says that a Virginia Democrat is someone who puts aside ideology and solves problems. I think if you look that up in the dictionary, you will see Charlie's picture next to it, whether it's his activity that he's had with the museum district, or whether it's what he's done for the stadium to try to find a solution for our stadium here in the city of Richmond. Charlie is the one who sets about trying to solve problems. He has deep-seated beliefs, but he's able to still reach across the aisle, reach across different ideologies.
As I've gone about the business of growing up in this city, I've learned to love this city. I earned my first paycheck right here. This was Stewart Circle Pharmacy back in the day. And in 1979, my father said, "Boy, we're going to work." And so we came in and we took over the counter. There were actually lunch counters in drugstores at that point. And I learned to make change here. I learned to flip a burger here. But the most important thing I learned here was to listen to people. When people came in, whether it was Stafford White or David Peak, they wanted to be heard. They didn't just want an egg and a cup of coffee. They wanted to be heard. And this was a place where community congregated to talk about the problems and the solutions of the Fan District. And I grew up in this environment listening. I later learned to intentionally listen from you. There's one act of listening, but then there's the other act of intentionally listening. And as I've gone about the business of intentionally listening to the citizens of this area, going door to door, day in and day out, I've heard 3 very specific problems. And the first problem is simply this: our schools are failing the families of the city of Richmond. Sure, Linwood Holton Elementary is doing great. The jewel of the Fan, Fox, is doing wonderfully. But what now? That's the question I keep hearing. What now? We've got a what now problem. The what now problem goes to what happens when these kids go to middle school? What are we going to do? Binford is not performing at the level that it should be performing at. And so we're losing not only kids, but whole families to the counties. We've got to upgrade our middle school situation here in the city. Secondly, our police and our firefighters and our teachers deserve our respect. And right now, they're simply not getting it. Our firefighters and our rank and file cops have not gotten a pay raise in 5 years. They took their career development program away from them. They took their STEP program away from them. So we're losing young as well as veteran firefighters and police officers to not only neighboring jurisdictions, but to places all over the country. And if we can't keep those who protect us here and make them feel valued, we haven't done ourselves any service at all. And finally, and the biggest point I keep hearing as I go door to door is this, and I would urge you to look at the streets, the sidewalks. If we can't take care of the small things, if we can't block and tackle in ways like fixing our streets, fixing our sidewalks, and indeed completing a lighting project that was proposed by the next United States Senator of this Commonwealth when he held this very seat on City Council, why then how do we expect to throw the long ball and build a baseball stadium? If we can't fix broken streets and broken sidewalks and put lights up, how are we going to do the big things? You know, there are auditors' reports as tall as this building that Umesh Dalal has put out, and I don't have all the answers. But I, like everybody in this neighborhood, in Carver and in Jackson Ward, Northside and Scott's Addition, I got plenty of questions. Where's the money going? That's the big question. If we can't pay our firefighters and our cops a decent salary, if we can't give them hope, if we can't fix our streets and our sidewalks, if we can't provide a decent education at the middle school and high school levels, then explain to me where we're spending our money. If the people of this district elect me, I promise this, very simply, I'm going to find the money by working with the auditor. We pay him plenty of money every year to find the waste in the system, and it deserves to be rooted out and taken care of and put back to work for the people of this city. You know, sometimes all it takes is leadership. And whether it was a baseball stadium debate, whether it was the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts debate, whether it was the small things that I've helped neighbors with, whether it's been my work at St. Paul's Church, with the Fan District Association, I've been listening. And I think an effective leader listens. I promise to listen intentionally to the people of this district and work with them to solve the problems of the 2nd District. I appreciate it very much, and if you've got a question, I'd be happy to take it. Thank you all very much for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you.